Welcome to the Uzziah Show. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Today, we're going to have a very important talk about Ahmaud Arbery. Today, it was announced that his 3 killers were sentenced to life in prison. What does this mean for our community? I want us to have an important dialogue on this because I have some really important questions about what we should do now that we know this. Do you think that this changes your outlook on society at all? Have you always looked from the lens of we've always gotten no justice, no peace? What does this sentencing represent? And what should we do as a community in order to level up? I want y'all's thoughts. Give your comments below. For those that are on for the very first time, my name is Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help people get out of debt so they can start their own business. But today, I want to dedicate this episode to Ahmaud Arbery because one of the reasons why I started this channel is because as a young Black man, I've been motivated to show the world what it could look like if prominent Black men were not gunned down so soon. I was motivated to start this channel based upon men like Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, as well as Ahmaud Arbery. So I want it to be known, when you see me on camera, I'm not just speaking for me. I'm speaking for all the young Black men who didn't get an opportunity to be on a platform to share our excellence with the world. And so I thank you so much for all of your support. And if you can respect that, please make sure that you smash that like button because it'll go a long way toward growing the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, my brother Yasha Allah. It's good to see you on. Man, I need you on here today, King. I need you on here. Today is going to be a hot topic. I'm going to put up the link right now for you to cam up. I want us to have a real conversation today, guys. I really want us to take this time to just sit back and reflect on what this sentencing means. And for those of you that are not familiar with who Ahmaud Arbery is, I'm going to share with you guys the background surrounding this tragedy. I'm putting the information on the screen. Make sure that you smash the like button. For those of you that want to donate to this broadcast, please tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Your donations go a very long way. If you like using Cash App or PayPal, the information is on the screen. I'm dedicating this broadcast to Ahmaud Arbery. We're definitely keeping his family in our prayers, but we have to keep pressing forward to show the world what it looks like for those of us who still have the opportunity to make progress. Now, on February 23, 2020, Ahmaud Marquez Arbery, a 25-year-old Black man, was murdered in Satilla Shores, a neighborhood near Brunswick County. A neighborhood near Brunswick in Glenn County, Georgia, United States. 3 white residents of the neighborhood, Gregory Michael, his son Travis Michael, and William Roddy Bryan, were convicted of the murder on November 24th, 2021. Now, a lot of times we as a community are up in arms because when we see situations like this happen, the verdict does not go in our favor. And I want us to think critically about this particular verdict and sentencing, and for us to have a real dialogue about what this represents. Regardless of how you feel, I want your commentary. Don't act crazy, don't act wild. Let's be intelligent and let's have the discussion. On January 7th of the following year, all three were sentenced to life in prison, and in the case of the McMichaels, without the possibility of parole. So, guys, this is what happened. There was a 25-year-old young black man that was jogging in this neighborhood. And just because he was jogging in the neighborhood, causing no problems, three men decided to take this young man's life. This was a horrible incident. Y'all already know this is nothing new. I would love to say this would be the last time where something like that has happened, but I'd be lying to you if that was the case. The next part of this Wikipedia article says the McMichaels and Brian chased down Arbery while he was jogging in the neighborhood, trapping him between their pickup trucks before fatally shooting him with a shotgun. Police interview transcripts indicate that Gregory began the chase after seeing Arbery running past his house, claiming he suspected that Arbery had committed burglary or theft in Satilla stores. No evidence has emerged of Arbery doing so. Now, y'all, I'm going to just tell you all this with full transparency. I'm not reading any more of this article. And the reason I'm not reading any more of this article is because when I look at the screen right now of Ahmaud Arbery, I can see myself on display. When I see situations like this happening throughout society, I'm seeing the world witness people that look just like me get gunned down. And guys, I'm not even speaking right now from a racial perspective. I'm just telling you the reality of what it is. A lot of people from other communities, they would probably look at this sentencing and it would be just another day because they have a different relationship with the criminal justice system. But for us who happen to look like Ahmaud Arbery, this means something totally different. And this is the reason why I'm doing this broadcast. I'm doing this broadcast because I want to ask you guys, what does this mean for the Black community? Have we made it now because we're getting justice through this sentencing? I think that we still have a long way to go, but we need to take a look at ourselves. I'm going to start opening up the floor for comments. Make sure that y'all hop on tonight, y'all. Let's get this thing going. Does this sentencing mean that we have now made it in society? What you got on the topic, Yasha Allah? I want us to be able to have a real talk about this. How do you feel? What does this mean? And what does this look like for you going forward?
Hey, can you hear me, big brother?
I can hear you. I see that you're frozen a little bit on the screen. Oh man, your screen just disconnected. Okay. While Yashala is getting back on, I'm going to share with you guys this comment. It says, I doubt these white folks would spend the rest of their lives in prison. They might get presidential pardon. Now, I even want y'all to think about this comment right here, because I feel that this is indicative about our outlook on society. Oftentimes, we feel less than in America. And oftentimes, that's for valid reason. But I want us to have a healthy discussion tonight because I want to ask you guys the question, Do we feel that the playing field is level? Are we so caught up in talks about racism that we oftentimes overlook some of the opportunity that's right in front of us? I want us to have a very important discussion. Is racism in America so overt that it stops us as a community from making progress? I want to hear y'all's comments. I want to get y'all's thoughts. Please leave me a comment. And brothers, sisters, for those of y'all that really enjoyed tonight's broadcast, please make sure that you donate, because these are the types of videos that ends up becoming demonetized on YouTube. When I say certain buzzwords, YouTube will stop me from getting ad money off of videos like this. So your donations and your sponsorship will go a long way towards conversations like this being had on this channel. I want your comments. I want your thoughts. I'm gonna wait for Yasha Allah to get back on. I know the brother a lot of times is in his truck, but please, y'all need to get on camera. Don't just wait for Yasha Allah to get on camera. You get on camera. Okay. So let's talk about this. I believe that despite what we're seeing right now with this sentencing, we still have a long way to go as a people. What I mean by that is, regardless of guilty or not guilty, I believe that we are too reliant upon the system in order for us to expect change. Follow what I'm saying right here. A lot of times when you see situations like this happen, our entire day is swayed by whatever the verdict is. The problem is, no matter what the verdict becomes, there's no way that we can get this young black man back. Yes, we know that getting a right verdict helps us feel that we have a place in this society, but it still does not change the underlying problem. Why are we getting shot down in the first place? And why is it that we've become so subservient that we only rely upon the criminal justice system to deliver outcomes that represent change? What I mean is this: if we are witnessing young black men being shot down in these communities, at what point will we make a more concerted effort to invest in having communities of our own where we don't have to worry about being shot down by other communities? Now, see, the problem is, if we're keeping it a buck, we still know that if we have our own communities, we still come up with resistance from our own. Just because we establish our own communities amongst people that look like us in appearance, that does not mean that violence will come to a stop. So the question is, are we willing to police ourselves? Are we willing to make sure that we can govern our own neighborhoods to try to limit situations like this from happening, rather than relying on all of these other cultures to police us and give us justice? Are we willing to set up justice for ourselves? And I'm not talking about taking one life for another life. But what I'm saying is, how do we view ourselves in this society? Are we ready to take control, or are we always looking to someone else to do the controlling for us? You know, we've had many great black leaders throughout the years: Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. And one of the things that's always been at the forefront is, what solutions will we have in place to make sure that we are treated properly, treated with respect, to make sure that we are not violently opposed? Guys, I want to hear your thoughts. This is a platform for you guys to express your point of view. The brother Yashala is back on. It's looking like his connection is looking a little bit better. It's good to see you on, my brother. How you doing?
Shalom, big brother. I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's your thoughts on this topic?
My thoughts is that it's still just peanuts and crumbs. That's all it is. It's a dog and pony show.
Wow.
It's a dog and pony show.
What makes
and I learned that because it's like when something big happens and makes the media, then they're like, we gotta do something. We gotta do that. That's where it is. I've been around them a long time. I know how they work. I heard them say it. When I was in the military, same thing. Like Carnival Alva North. I'm like, no, people, this is how it operates, but he had to take the fall.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the way it is. He took the fall. He Carnival Alva North. I didn't know what happened in military life. Right. He took the fall. He still got his retirement, all his benefits, and a TV show.
Wow. Now,
see what I'm saying?
I got a question for you. I've been around some brothers who have been in and out of prison. And one of the things that they've talked about is that a lot of times when we deal with going to court, we end up not getting certain judgments in our favor because we don't really know the law. We don't really understand how this game is played. And as a result, maybe we don't communicate our perspective as much as we should. Do you think that this trial was different from the others because it was so clear cut, and maybe the way that it was highlighted made things work in our favor that much more? I mean, like if we look at a situation like this versus, say, a Michael Brown, they said in the Michael Brown, okay, well, the reason why the cop did this is because the brother did that, right? But in a situation, or even with the Tamir Rice situation, Tamir Rice, he's playing with a toy gun. And they say, well, it looks like a replica of a real gun. Do you think that the reason why this particular verdict went this kind of a way along with the sentencing is because it was so obvious, but also was there something different about this one than in times past? What do you think made this particular case stand out from the others?
Video, and people become more aware. Because it's not just video alone, because the Rodney King incident had video.
Right.
And he still got off. It wasn't, so it ain't video.
Then that was right down the street from my house. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? And I was driving a truck, so I had the detour. That's where it was. But the media today, if you're sharing a lot, it's public opinion now. So it's like I'm on the spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the spot. We gotta do something. You know what I mean? We gotta do something. So without the media or black media per se, we wouldn't do anything.
Man.
They would just brush it away. You
got me wanting to talk about so many points right now. Shout out to you for that. My thoughts on what you just said, because it's such a heavy point, and I want to know y'all's comments. I've been asking the question, do you feel like black people have better opportunities right now? And maybe on some level we're overlooking it because we're looking at things from time to time from a victim mentality. What I mean by that is we understand what's happening in society. For those of us who know what it is, we do know that racism is a factor. It's present, right? This is not the broadcast where, we get to the bag. Racism no longer exists. I don't see color. Life is life. That's not here. We understand what has happened and what is happening in society. But my question is, sometimes it may seem, Yasha Allah, that some of our people become so focused on the man is out to get us, that we go to such an extreme with that we overlook some of the opportunities that are present in spite of racism. So what I mean by that is you just made the point that now we have access to the internet. And
Right.
social media creates a new dynamic where we could potentially get more justice. So when you think about that, especially with your years of experience living in a pre and post internet world, do you see that sometimes we could still get in our own way because we do know that racism exists, but we put so much priority on it that we're still not conscious of the fact that there are certain opportunities for us to make progress as a people in spite of racism based upon what you just said about the internet?
Yes, that is right. We complain a lot, but don't take action.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like a brother, teacher, Shaul Israel, he's back in law school, and he posts a lot of things to make you understand how law works. He posted the diagrams because I didn't know either. You know what I'm saying? How a lot of things
mhm,
really work by their system. So,
right.
I do that. I watch the lawyer shows, real law, court cases to understand how it works. We don't do that. How the business world works, how the law justice system works, how etiquette works. We would just won't. We'll stay stuck in our ways. Back then, I'm not gonna learn nothing. I'm not gonna use the internet for nothing but chit chat, Instagram, dancing, and everything else. You know what I mean? And it's more opportunities now than everything than my time.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. And I think that becomes a really challenging conversation to have because when we talk about some of the progress that we can make, one of the things that a lot of times people feel like is overlooked is that as much as some Black people talk about progress, we fail to realize that we were in a superior position before we ever got here. What I mean by that is a lot of times society only teaches Black history post slavery. So they will only teach you about Malcolm, they will only teach you about Martin, but they will not teach you about all of the Black kings and leaders that dominated this planet before the transatlantic slave trade began. They don't talk about how we had advancements in science and technology and mathematics long before we were ever put on cargo slave ships. So the reason why I'm bringing all of this into the discussion is because you get all of these different talking points. And one of the things I've always wanted to do on this channel is to try to bring up these multiple perspectives and use critical thinking to see where we should end up. A lot of times, like when you were just talking about some of our shortcomings as a people, sometimes we're so quick to blame everybody else for the problems that we have that becomes a problem within itself. A lot of times, like, we don't understand, even when we speak on these curses in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, we took on those curses because of our disobedience to God. For those of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, know your history. Okay, we have gone through systematic racism as a people, but now we're living in a time period where there are opportunities that are present for us to be able to move forward in spite of which. And so I think what you're saying, Yasha Allah, is, hey, you know what? We know that there are certain things that happen in the society. We know that, now people got to start changing their tune because they was doing this to us before the social media cameras cut on, before the smartphones cut on. You could have gotten Emmett Till and nobody would have talked about it. But now, through technology and through these advancements, there are certain avenues now for us to be able to make progress, but maybe we are not fully capitalizing on it. And that was the reason why I really wanted to dedicate this show to Ahmaud Arbery, because I want the world to see young Black men capitalizing on opportunities rather than just being profiled as, oh, well, you know, criminals, thugs, lazy. I think a lot of black people don't even realize that right now in 2022, you know, there's more black people that are having success in this country now more than ever. So, Yasha Allah, in all that you've seen in your years of experience, I feel that you're a lot more qualified to speak on this topic rather than me. What is it that you feel that we need to do over the next few decades to make sure that we prevent Ahmaud Arbery's situation from happening and for us to have better outcomes within the society?
Well, the first thing is know who you are according to the scriptures. That's the first point. If you don't know that, you're not gonna know anything. If you don't take action or doing this or doing that for yourself and helping others and being around other people who help you, you're not gonna make it. It's
Gotta have
gonna get
knowledge yourself. Right.
right. Just like me, I can look over the years, like when I lived in a nice neighborhood before everything else, I always kept going back to the hood. They go, why?
Right.
I'm from there. I don't never want to forget where I came from. I'm sorry. That's just me. I can hang around the guys on the corner with the doggone barrel. You know what I'm saying? I don't spend a long period of time, but I still go back. You know what I mean? You know, how you doing? Listen to the little BS, little quick, 5 minutes, and I'm gone. Because I want to know where I came from.
Right.
We forget about that. Like a great man died today. If y'all don't know who he was, Sidney Poitier.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Rest in peace to Sidney Poitier.
Right. And it kind of hurt me because it made me think about that time. You know what I mean? Because I remember, what was it? Real to Real. If you know what Real to Real are, and music, you know, I'm sorry. Real to Real. I remember the big records. I remember the doggone 8-track. I remember cassette. It changed through the years.
Right.
And he had classics. And the classic, if you watch those classics, you will get a good meaning of what really we went through.
Right.
And we don't want to watch classics today. You know what I'm saying? Porgy and Bess. What's that? It's a musical. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, Raising the Sun, the original, not the new crap they got, the original. To Serve with Love. You know what I'm saying? And they talked about racism then. You know what I mean? And we don't want to see that. We want to I'm not blindsided, not me.
Right.
That's how I know who I am and know where I'm going at, and to see still the same. We just got video and public attention now. That's all it is.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? That's all it is. But if you get into who you really are and say, you know what, it's just crumbs. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
So can I ask you this, sir? From what I'm hearing, and this is a very interesting perspective, it seems like you believe that people are not changing. However, technology is. And because technology is changing, it's almost leveling the playing field from a certain perspective that now people have to shift their behavior. So did I capture that correctly? You're saying people themselves, they are who they are, but the technology has evolved in a certain way where everybody has to adjust. And you know, that's such an interesting perspective that you share on that, sir, because oftentimes on this channel, you know, when we talk about creating generational wealth, we're always talking about from technology from the perspective of, well, it's making the entrepreneur change his approach. He can no longer do the brick and mortar. Now he has to understand how to get involved online. So I think that it's very interesting and very edifying to hear you as an experienced, wise black man to say, maybe the players themselves hasn't changed. It's just that we're playing a different game. Y'all, for those of y'all that are on, please make sure that you support this broadcast. Your sponsorship will go a very long way. Now, guys, see, this is what I'm saying, Yasha Allah. See, society will sit back and watch. How does our community process these kind of shows? You know, we could talk about a lot of drama. We could talk about a lot of smoke. But how does the Black community actually process healthy dialogue on how we could move forward productively as a nation? They want to see, are they supporting each other? Are they willing to look out for their own? And that's the reason why it's bigger than you just sending money. Your sponsorships actually make a statement that these type of conversations are celebrated. So if you enjoy this broadcast and you want to support, please make sure that you tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Whoever makes the highest sponsorship of tonight's broadcast will be the official sponsor of the show. And as always, even if you happen to watch this broadcast after the live stream is over, you can still bring forth your donations. The links are in the description below. Now, y'all know I don't like to do the Friday night thing. I still got a little bit of daytime on my area. So before we get out of here, sir, Mr. Yasha Allah, and I got to give a shout out to Yasha Allah, man, because I just got a comment. One of our top supporters for this channel said that she gets on this show to be able to see Yasha Allah. So just know, my brother, that you are loved. Yes, yes, yes. I got a comment. I wish I could pull it up on the screen right now. She made a comment and said, I'm here for Yasha Allah. You are loved, man. You're definitely a part of this show, sir. And I thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you reminded all of us about the passing of a great figure in the Black community, the brother Sidney Poitier. The brother Sidney Poitier was definitely an icon as well as a pioneer for Black media. And even for young bucks like myself, I was shown A Raisin in the Sun, and it was a very, very profound film. And I saw that original. I did see that original. So before we get up out of here, is there anything else that you got to say on this, sir?
Yes. Keep pushing, everybody. Keep your head up. Keep pushing. Make a laugh. Joke about it. And say, you know what? You ain't going to spoil my day. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much, sir. Definitely appreciate
Welcome,
your
my brother.
support as always, man. Love you, and Lord's will, I'll see you soon.
Lord's will.
Now. All right now. All right, y'all. So we definitely got some good dialogue going. Listen, leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. The question on the table is, what does this sentencing mean for the Black community? What does it mean for society in general? The brother Yasha Allah said he doesn't think that people's actions have changed, but he does believe that the evolution of technology is influencing the outcomes of court cases. Interesting take. Let me know your thoughts. All you got to do is leave a comment below. For those of you that are on this broadcast for the very first time, please make sure that you subscribe, turn on the notification bell. That way you can receive alerts whenever I do another show. For those of you guys that got a lot of value out of tonight's broadcast and you want to keep the discussion going, share this broadcast, because I want other people chiming in. I think that we all have something to say, okay? And I want this to be a platform where our voice can be heard, respected. Let's make sure that we bring forth our ideas on how to do better. We talked about this today, guys. We talked about Ahmaud Arbery. We talked about pressing forward in his honor. We also talked about us realizing that sometimes we will blame racism for problems, but that doesn't mean that there is not an opportunity amidst the racism for us to learn more skills, to leverage it in the courtroom, and for us to create better systems as well as communities for our empowerment and freedom. I love you guys. Please make sure that y'all continue to donate. I want to give a shout out to the official sponsor of tonight's broadcast, my brother Yasha Allah. Thank you so much, King. Okay, for those of y'all that want to receive my regular content on how to create generational wealth, Please make sure that you join your breakthrough year. I'm out of here, y'all. The next broadcast will be this Sunday, Lord willing. I'll be on around 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, I pray that you have a blessed weekend and make sure that you keep pushing.